It's Thursday, January 5th. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. And now, a guy whose motto is, "It was always the pork butt," J.P. Shadrick.
You got that right. Welcome in. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. It is Thursday. It is Week 18. There's a lot going on around TIAA Bank Field. We've got a busy 2 hours ahead. Well, here on Jaguars Happy Hour, it's analyst Jeff Lageman coming up. We'll hear from tight end Chris Manhertz joining us in studio in just moments. The de facto AFC South championship game this Saturday night, 8:15 kickoff time at TIAA Bank Field. And then at 5 o'clock, it's the Doug Pederson Show. We'll hear from the Jaguars head coach on his thoughts of the week leading up to this game. Let's start with the head coach. Earlier today, big bowl game, of course, Saturday night, but it's important to pace yourself.
Business as usual, mentality. And, we understand it's a regular season, Week 18 game. It's the last game of the regular season. And, obviously a lot at stake. But at the same time, you just say, hey, listen, what got us here? And you just got to lean on that, right? And lean on the positive there. And again, it goes back to the turnover battle. You just can't give the ball up, and you try to take the ball away the best you can. But really you just stay with what got you here. Trust the players, put a great game plan together, and then go play.
Trevor Lawrence, Jaguars quarterback, earlier this week. After this Jaguars team was 2-6 to start the season, they turned the corner and they're now an even 8-8. He knew the head coach knew it all along.
I mean, we've known that this game was coming for a while, and that this is where we wanted to be. Week 18. I mean, Coach Pederson said it a few weeks ago. He's like, I got a crystal ball. This thing's gonna come down to Week 18, and we're gonna have a shot. And we jumped on board. We believed it. We kept putting in the work, and look, we're here now. So.
That's Trevor Lawrence, of course. And then today, the defense in the locker room discussing the matchup against Derrick Henry. You better bring more than one to tackle him.
That's any back, man. Our number one responsibility as a defense is to stop the run. And then that can open up opportunities for us to get to the passer. But the easiest thing to do, and that's what I learned this early, is to turn around and hand the ball on. So if they're continuing to do that, if they continue to get the pass on the ball, no matter what we do, as long as we don't stop the run, we're not going to be able to find those opportunities. Priority number one, stop the run. I think we all know that. I think their priority number one is to run the ball. We're going to have to be physical up front. We're going to have to be physical in the back end. We're going to have to hit hard.
Sounds simple to me. Not as simple as it sounds, though. And all the press conferences and locker room sound available on Jaguars.com and Jaguars social media. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. It's Thursday. That means Jeff Lageman is with us, Jaguars analyst. And it means tight end Chris Manhertz joining us in studio as well. Good afternoon, Chris.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Great. Good to see you. It's Week 18, big ball game, AFC South Championship. All that's the big. It's high, the lights are on. It's prime time. But it's still just another football game, right? You guys have to go execute it like you've done the last month or so, or back half of the season, and that's the tough challenge this week, right? It's all the excitement combined with just having to go play.
Exactly that. We know it's a big week. It is just another game, but at the same time, we realize that, it's either you win or you go home. We've put together a great week of work, of practice, and feeling prepared for that. So we're headed in feeling good about it.
So I was going to ask you about playing under the lights Friday night, but you didn't do that, right? I mean, you were a basketball player. But night games, national TV always have a little extra something. And that extra something is that everybody's watching, everybody in the country, stadium's going to be packed, and most importantly, the guys that you play in the league with are watching. Isn't that something, doesn't that make it more important?
Yeah, it makes it way more important. But we know that during the week, especially having a late game, I think it's also equally as important for guys to, peak at the right time, whether that be physically, emotions are going to be high, but regulating our emotions throughout the week, making sure that, obviously we're excited, we're going to be prepared, but we're not going to peak at the wrong time.
Yeah, and I think that's important a lot of times with a night game, the build-up, a big game. and all of a sudden you get into like play 10 of the game and it feels like play 50 because you're emotionally drained. And so I'm sure that your head coach has been teaching, hey, let's just remember it's just a game. Let's make sure that we're not doing too much before the game, make sure that we're getting our rest, making sure that we're keeping our emotions in check, all of those things, right?
Absolutely. And, overall, you think about that going into the game, but once the game starts, the butterflies get out your system. It's just ball, So we're just focused on doing the simple things better, continuing to stick with our process and, be prepared to win this game.
You don't need guys like running down the hall of the hotel, coming out of the tunnel at like 2 in the afternoon. That would be peaking too early, right?
No need.
No need for that.
No need.
Save that for the run out of the tunnel. All right, let's focus on a couple of key players for this Titans defense. This is a group that's really good against the run, obviously. And, Logs, I don't know if you agree with me on this, and Chris, but, Jeffrey Simmons is really one of the top guys at that position in the NFL. Chris, what stands out when you see it? We saw him just a few weeks ago, but what stands out when he pops out on tape?
For him as an interior D lineman, obviously pretty athletic, heavy-handed, stout in the run game, and is a great pass rusher as well. So obviously, on a week-to-week basis, we have to prepare and have a plan for guys like this. So we definitely will be prepared for that.
Yeah, he's kind of that guy, kind of the rare blend of good against the pass as far as being a pass rusher, and then also really strong against the run. A lot of the defensive tackles that get a lot of the notoriety are the guys that rush the passer. But this is a real balanced guy, and the guy that plays alongside next to him, Tier Tart, is a big, strong dude as well. And those two in the middle, they make it pretty tough on offenses because they can control the line of scrimmage.
Absolutely right. And that guy I assume you're talking about is Autry number 90. Is it 98 or 96?
It's 93.
93. I know that he's been
98
out.
98 is Simmons.
Simmons.
Yep.
I know that he's been out for quite a while due to an injury, but he's another guy that stands out. He's big, he's long, he's strong, he's stout in the run game, so we have to bring our lunch pail for him.
One of the guys that didn't play the last matchup that you probably might see is Danico Autry. Mm-hmm. Their best probably edge player, a guy that you may end up seeing on the outside of the line of scrimmage. What does this player bring?
He's been in the league for quite a while, but like I said, he's pretty big. He's probably 270 pounds, stout in the run game. And as a tight end preparing for that matchup, we have to do everything right. The margin for error is very limited. Our technique has to be right. Our hands have to be right. And more importantly, our physicality at the point of attack, if need be, has to be right as well.
It's crazy to watch the Titans. They're one of the top defenses in the league against the run. The last time that you guys faced them, it was tough sledding, and then that's the reality when you play the Tennessee Titans. That's kind of a, what's the best way to put it? Kind of the backyard brawl game, I guess you could say, against the Tennessee Titans. And that's just the way that they've played ball, I think part of that is personnel driven, but also part of that is the mentality of their head coach, Mike Vrabel, because he's an old linebacker, played in the league, and, tough guy, kind of that same mentality.
Yeah, we always know coming into games like these, it's going to be a pretty physical game. So, getting ready for the game a couple of days before the game, night before the game, we already have that mindset that, we have to be the more physical team to give ourselves a chance to be successful at the end of the game.
By the way, Jeffrey Simmons was on the report again this week with an ankle, but limited all 3 days. He's off the report. He's cleared to play. Danico Autry, biceps injury, full all week, not on the report either. So those guys are good to go.
They're playing.
They're going to play for sure. Hey, and we mentioned it. This is a really good group against the run. They're second in the league against the run this season. Well, last week, the Jaguars offense did pretty well in the run game, Logs, and put together a great outing in Houston, and this guy sitting between us led the way in a big way, certainly on the big touchdown run, Logs.
Yeah, 62-yard run that Travis Etienne had. I don't know if way we can show it here up on the video screen, because when it happens, Chris, you're essentially a wing on the left side, and you're going to be blocking or Concro. Did I say that right, JP? It's 45. Okay, listen, the defensive end for the Texans, 45. Okay. You collapse them all the way down, and that really allows a much bigger hole for Etienne to hit 2 great blocks to the outside. Also, I know that you appreciated Christian Kirk and Zay Jones on the outside. But, man, this is a thing of beauty. Nice job blocking.
I appreciate that. And I have to give a lot of credit to Travis as well. This is not an easy thing to do as far as being as instinctive as he is in the run game. His biggest key in that particular play was reading the mic. And whichever way the mic went, he obviously has to make a read and go opposite. So he made a quick move, read our blocks pretty well, and it was a well-executed play.
Yeah, when I did this play with Phil Rauscher, the offensive line coach, in the film room this week for some Jaguars television. It's on Jaguars YouTube. And he pointed to what you just talked about how the quick decision by Etienne, because he actually they're showing like an inside zone going the other way. And the 2 linebackers, literally, you guys don't have to block them at all because the action itself pulls them into where Phil called it Davy Jones locker, which means they were going in the line of scrimmage and they couldn't get out. They couldn't find a way to get back to the outside. But then the blocks by you, Christian Kirk, and Zay Jones on the outside were exceptional. But then the thing that always impresses me is what speed does to tackling. Because when Travis hits that, he hits it with such authority and speed. Now you've got 2 guys that are coming in. One of them's a cornerback, and one of them's a safety. The safety is Petrie. The cornerback makes a total business decision and says, I don't want any part of this running back running full speed. But then Petrie, the safety, ends up not having the angle just because of the speed in which Travis runs that play through there.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys that he's as good as I've seen once he puts his foot in the ground and just hits it. So kudos to him. Great play. I'm probably sure that, that's not going to be the last time we're going to see something like that.
He had another longer run in the ball game, and it was the same exact play. And you were also a big part of that as well. And so good job, and that was nice, man. The guy gets over 100 yards again. Now he's over 1,100 yards rushing in his first year of his career. I mean, that's outstanding.
You love to see it.
Yeah, that's good. So as a running back, back in the day, and I'm going to ask you if you've talked to Travis about this, back in the day when running backs used to get 1,000 yards, they would buy the blocker or something, the offensive linemen,
now we're talking.
The tight ends. And so, any gifts coming your way from the first-round pick running back?
Well, the season's not over yet, so I assume there's probably something in the works, unless you know something more than I do.
Well, it's something like Trevor gave golf clubs out, I think, last year to the offensive linemen, right?
They all got big watches a while back. Did you one of those?
No, I didn't quite get that.
I don't know if you missed
didn't
that
make
or not. Didn't make the cut.
Didn't make the cut.
Well, he's a young player, Chris, so you need to kind of instruct him on how things are in the National Football League, and that when you hit 1,000 yards, then there needs to be gifts coming to those who block.
Take care of your guys.
Yeah, tell him take care of your guys.
Yeah, him getting the recognition is just enough for me to feel the sense of pride in what we do as linemen, tight ends, what have you.
I got you.
A little more on the one more run thought on this, and we talked about the plays there and what it took on your part of the play, but I think you touched on it, Logs. It's everybody combining, wide receivers down the field getting blocks. I mean, Christian Kirk's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's down there getting his head in there and doing business. I mean, that tells you what it means to everybody on this offense that, hey, if I'm not getting the ball, I'm going down to block, and that's what it takes on this offense, right? And
it's encouraging to see, seeing plays like that result in touchdowns and points on the board. It kind of gives you a little bit added motivation into, sometimes you're just one block away from getting that big play, and, our wide receivers, like you said, do a great job of that.
All right.
I got one more question for you, and I don't want to go back in time a little bit, but Monday Night Football. Okay, I'm watching the game. Everybody's watching the game. I know you're watching the game, and having played the game and you playing the game, when you see something like that happened on Monday night, and it's good to talk about it now because the words are encouraging. The reports that we're hearing about is much improved. But the situation with Damar Hamlin and how that unfolded, did you see it live, and what was your reaction to that?
I saw it live, and, immediately my heart dropped. I've never seen a game delay for that long. So obviously seeing that I figured something, detrimental happened. But, it's just a constant reminder that, in this game, this is a, we're in a fragile game. Sometimes you're one play away from, you don't know if you're ever going to play again. So it just put a lot of things into perspective, just being grateful to play this game and understand that, every time you strap up your helmet and go out there, you don't take one thing for granted.
I think sometimes too, when that happens, your wife, okay, your mom. I mean, people that are around guys that play the game sometimes also will make a phone call to you and say, and talk to you about what they saw, because in their mind, they're thinking that could be my husband next. That could be my son that is next. And I mean, that's pretty scary stuff now.
It's most certainly scary. And I've had a plethora of people reach out to me just to see how I'm doing, and just sending their regards for everything and praying over me, keeping me safe, everything like that. But, it is an assumed risk that comes with this job. I'm sure you know that, at any moment anything can happen, but hopefully you do the things that you can control, and hopefully you come through unscathed.
Chris Manhertz with us. Final moments with you here. So, all right, moving ahead, you guys were 2-6 this season. You're 6-2 since then to get to 500. But you got to go finish it, right, to make all that matter. Is this team ready for the spotlight?
Absolutely, we're ready for the spotlight. No question. Our preparation has been outstanding the past couple weeks, and like I said earlier, we don't really have to do anything special to be special. We just have to continue to do our jobs, do the simple things better, and execute at a high level, and the rest usually takes care of itself.
Consistency.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of football, is that it's not something that you can turn on and off. I mean, it's you had to have already put the work in before leading up to this week, and you guys have put in the work, and just stay confident, and hopefully just right there, right? Consistency. Absolutely. And let it roll.
For sure.
This is a hat and shirt game.
The one
winner
thing
of this game gets the AFC South.
I'll add is that my first really playoff experience was 1996 here, and we got on a roll at the very end of the year, and we got in the playoffs, and it was magical. And the one thing I always remember is that when you experience moments like this, you got to have fun and enjoy the moment, because you just don't know whether or not it's ever going to happen again. And so as players, cherish the moment, soak it in, and enjoy every minute of it.
You're absolutely right. Just get lost in the moment. Just be completely present, and you just go out there, play ball, and do what you do best.
That's right.
Leave it all out there. Only game left in the regular season. Chris, thanks for the time as always. Well done, man. Appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Chris Manhertz, Jaguars tight end, with us on this edition of Jaguars Happy Hour. Plenty more ahead. PRI Productions, the official event production company of the Jaguars, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com. We're on Tintin XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars social media, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And it's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Reconnect with the best version of you at Amara Med Spa, Northeast Florida's premier luxury medical spa, located in Ponte Vedra, Town Center, Avondale, St. Augustine, and Fernandina. With the most advanced injectors, estheticians, and technology, Amara Med Spa is redefining beauty, offering services such as Botox and filler, M-Sculpt Neo, painless laser hair removal, and advanced skincare treatments. Visit theamaramedspa.com and book a complimentary consultation today.
The holidays are almost over, so don't miss the final days of the Holiday Your Way sales event going on now at your local Ford dealer. It's your last chance to get the best deals of the year on Ford trucks and SUVs. Light up your New Year celebration in a Ford F-150 with available Pro Power onboard, or roll into the new year in a Ford Explorer SUV with available four-wheel drive. Don't miss the final days of the Holiday Your Way sales event. Inventory is arriving daily, but hurry. The Holiday Your Way sales event ends January 3rd. Not all models, trims, or features may be available or may be subject to change.
Hey, I'm driving. I joined the new Dunkin' Rewards program, and today's the day I'm going to use my points on a medium iced latte and a couple of chocolate frosted donuts.
Here you go, and thanks for being a rewards member.
And now I'm using those chocolate frosted donuts, kids, to get a few sweet, sweet, blissful minutes of beautiful relief from the never-ending onslaught of backseat bickering.
Join new Dunkin' Rewards today. Join new Dunkin' Rewards today. Save them, stack them, use them how you want. America runs on Dunkin'. Terms apply.
Jaguars fans, huddle up for the best defense against expensive car repairs, CarShield. Score big with the nation's #1 automotive protection company, CarShield. They offer affordable plans that cover over 6,000 parts and systems in your car, truck, or SUV. Don't miss any Jaguars action this season with a car breakdown. Call the MVPs at CarShield for their best coverage ever. Call 800-471-1223. 800-471-1223. Go Jags!
Thinking about your favorite whiskey or whiskey-based cocktail for this weekend's party or tailgate? Us too. While you're out shopping for supplies, don't forget to pick up a bottle of the 2022 Jaguars whiskey available at most local Jacksonville liquor stores. Not leaving the couch this weekend? No problem. You can also order a bottle online at citrusdistillersonline.com. Every bottle is made locally here in Duval.
The Titans-Jaguars game is proudly sponsored by Johnson & Johnson Vision, the makers of AccuView brand contact lenses. Johnson & Johnson Vision has been rooted in Jacksonville, Florida for more than 40 years, with tools for every stage of your eye health journey, from contact lenses and dry eye to childhood myopia and cataract surgery. They help to restore sight for millions of people around the world. You can prioritize your eyes by scheduling a comprehensive eye exam with an eye care professional today. Go Jags!
Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Jaguars Today. All Jaguars, all NFL, all the time. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, and Jaguars Game Day Radio is brought to you by ViStar Credit Union. Do good, bank better. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. Our thanks to Chris Manhertz, Jaguars tight end, joining us the last few Thursdays on Jaguars Happy Hour. Got a big hand in the running game last week, as we talked about. 3 different Jaguars running backs had touchdowns against Houston. But now it's on to Week 18, and the Tennessee Titans come to town for the winner-take-all de facto AFC South Championship game Saturday, 8:15 kickoff under the lights, ESPN and ABC. The Monday Night Football crew is here, and boy, what a game it's going to be.
Are you excited? Maybe,
I'm kind of
JP?
excited, yes.
It's cool. It's I was texting a friend of mine earlier today, and I said, this is the biggest game in Jaguars history.
You think so?
Well, I mean, biggest regular season game in Jaguars history. You can't sit there and say that this is bigger than the 2 AFC championships that you went to. Okay, the one in '96 and the one in '99. But
what would be the closest one? The Falcons game in '96?
Yeah, I mean that's the AFC championship games. Okay, are right there at the top. Just as far as I'm not talking about the results. Okay, I'm just talking about going into the game, how big they were.
Yeah.
And obviously the AFC Championship games are right there at the top. And then winning you're in against the Atlanta Falcons that I was a part of in '96 is right there. And this one, I think, goes a step above that. And the reason why, and that it's the same scenario winning in, but now you've been around in the league for a number of years and you've established a rivalry, and your nemesis has been the Houston Oilers / Tennessee Titans. And so now that that's established, it's against them at home. This is for all the marbles, for a division title, a winning record, the crown of the AFC South. It's a primetime game Saturday night, national TV. Going to be 70,000 people here to see it. And it also sets up for a home playoff game next week. I mean, all of those things considered, to me, this is the biggest regular season game in Jaguars history.
And the loser goes to Cancun, most likely. I mean, honestly, your season's over. Tennessee's out. Jaguars have a backdoor chance, but they need other things to happen. It would be a lot to have to happen.
Yeah, it'd be a lot.
So everything's on the line, and I'm with you. It's certainly the biggest in recent memory, if not the entire Jaguars history. Well, it's really about is it more about the Jaguars offense setting the tone, or is it about slowing down Derrick Henry and the defense doing that to give them the opportunity? Which way, I guess it's the perspective of who you're asking the question of.
No, it could be how the game's going. Okay, if the offense is kind of struggling to gain some footing, then it's up to the defense to do a great job against Derrick Henry just to prevent Tennessee from scoring some points.
Yeah.
If the offense is ripping the Titans and scoring points, then it's about them, because then they take Derrick Henry out of the equation a little bit by them scoring points and putting a quarterback that has been with the Titans on Saturday night. It will be 17 days that Dobbs has been with the organization. It will put him in a tough situation, but you got to stop Derrick Henry because that is the engine of the Titans right now. That's the one high-end operating component that they still have. He's a premium back. He's got an offensive line that right now is nowhere near what they expected to have when they started the season. They have one remaining starter from their expected opening day starting lineup, and that's Petit Ferrer, the right tackle. Everybody else is out. Ben Jones is out. He actually played against the Jaguars the last time. Nate Davis, the starting right guard, is out. The starting left guard is out. They got a 273-pound left guard in the lineup, and then Taylor Lewan is on IR. I mean, this is not the same offensive line. But the crazy thing is that Derrick Henry's still been really good with an offensive line that hasn't been the same or what they expected at the beginning of this year, and that's what makes him special. You know, we had a conference call earlier in the day, and then JP, you remember it, Tony Baselli was talking about how Derrick Henry doesn't wear a cape. Well, if he doesn't wear a cape, he's wearing something that's pretty damn close to a cape because he's that good.
He is third in the league in rushing yards this year, 1,429 yards. Second most rushing attempts, over 300 this year, and 13 touchdowns. That's tied for second in terms of rushing touchdowns this season in the league. And he will be the all-time leading rusher against the Jaguars in their history. Yeah.
When he gets 3 yards, then he will surpass Eddie George.
Yeah, it's like 15% of his career rushing yards are against the Jags all time, and he's played 12% of the games in his career against them. So he's had some big games.
Yeah, but he's got some
to go over that.
Really big games. I mean, the stiff arm game.
Yeah.
I mean, who can forget that?
Couple 200-yard games. His second 200-yard game against the Jags was the start of what is now a 3-game stretch for Henry over 100 yards against the Jags. But you know, if you just look at the stats, last time they were off and running early in the game in Nashville back in Week 14. First quarter, he had nearly 100 yards. Was at 119 at the end of the first half. But that thing flipped around when he lost the football. When Shaq Quarterman hit him, that opened a lot of eyes, I think, on the defensive side of the ball in that locker room. That's what Josh Allen said. That was the point. Oh, wait a minute. He's not invincible. We can go get the ball from this guy. They would go down and score, and then after halftime, they double up again, score, put the game out of reach, and they had to get away from the running game. That changed the whole dynamic, and that was the start of the current run they're on. That was that play right there, Quarterman's hit.
The run that the Jaguars were on, and it's just continued the tough road that the Tennessee Titans have been on, and that's, look, no doubt about it. That's what you got to stop Derrick Henry, and you know, a few years ago when Todd Wash was the defensive coordinator here, they actually had a Derrick Henry drill in practice. You remember that? Okay.
Faintly, yes.
Okay, they had a Derrick Henry tackling drill.
Did it work?
It did work.
It did.
Somewhat.
Okay.
But they literally had a drill that was designed to show the traits that Derrick Henry had when he ran the ball, and they were coaching up the players how to combat some of those tools that Derrick Henry uses. And obviously the stiff arm is one of the big ones. And so they had a drill that helped allow them to knock the arm down or to lift the arm, to not come in and just be reaching for a body and have the stiff arm end up in your face. And that's the only time I've ever heard in my experiences in the NFL, going all the way back to 1989, that I've ever heard. I never had one, and
nobody ever had an Eric Dickerson tackling drill.
No. I've never known of a Derrick Henry tackling drill or any other running back tackling drill in the history of the game. Now, there might have been moments where they would coach up, hey, look, you got to be aware of this, but they literally had a Derrick Henry tackling drill, and so. That makes the guy pretty special in my mind, and he's going to be a load. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, and you would think that a big, strong, fast guy like that would be downhill, kind of like Christian Okoye, but he's probably more talented getting out on the perimeter than a lot of the other scat backs, the smaller guys that have greater movement skills. Because when he bounces to the outside, that's where he gets to use his size, his length, and his speed to help get big yardage. And that's what makes him special.
if the Jaguars can plug up the running game and slow it down, at least for Tennessee, and as you said, put it in Josh Dobbs' hands, we thought we might have a chance to see Treylon Burks, wide receiver, but he's come up with a groin injury starting on Wednesday, was limited, did not practice Thursday. He is questionable officially for the game. He did not play back in Week 14, the wide receiver, rookie out of Arkansas. So, I mean, you know, we'll see what they have to offer on the outside, but it's really about Dobbs just getting it to who's out there, first of all.
Well, look, if Burks can't go, that's a big loss. And the reason I say that is that he's the big play guy. He's one of those guys that you can send him on a go route, throw the ball up in the air, and then he might come down with it just because he's a big physical presence that can win the jump ball kind of deal. And they really don't have anybody else that has it. The one guy that's got some great speed is Racey McMath, but he's not consistent enough, and he's kind of down the pecking order, but he's got great speed. Robert Woods is a guy that they ended up getting in a trade with the Rams, and that was kind of after the A.J. Brown trade, and he's a good player, Robert Woods is, but he's not a great player, and I don't think he's anybody that scares defensive coordinators. So this is about stopping Derrick Henry. That's why they didn't play him against the Dallas Cowboys. They wanted to get him completely rested up to be able to come back near his home and have a monster game and lead the Titans to victory. That's the only way that they win, is that if he controls the ball game and the Titans are able to get some takeaways against the Jaguars offense.
There's no better time to become a Daily's Place Blue member than right now. Enjoy the best live music around with access to the best seats and amenities, premium parking, and more. Reserve your spot for the 2023 Daily's Place season right now. Shows start in a couple months' time. For more, email ticketing at boldevents.com or call 904-633-2000. We've got plenty ahead on Jaguars Happy Hour. We'll come back with the discussion of Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars offense facing off against a stout Titans defensive front seven. This is Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Your hometown gate now has more ways to save. Introducing My Gate Rewards, a new loyalty program with member-exclusive savings and fuel discounts. Earn points on in-store purchases, take advantage of special offers, and save on products you love. Score free coffee, fountain drinks, pizza, and soft serve with Gates Frequent Shopper Clubs. Then use your points on savings at the pump. Download the My Gate Rewards app in the App Store today or ask a store associate for more information. Go from good to Gate.
The Land Rover Defender story began with the simple thought of creating an exceptionally capable off-road vehicle, becoming the go-anywhere, do-anything all-terrain machine. Today, there's a new Land Rover Defender, the toughest and most advanced Land Rover vehicle ever. From the beginning, Land Rover knew the new Defender was capable of great things. Motor Trend's 2021 SUV of the Year is just the latest example. Test drive the new Land Rover Defender today at Land Rover Jacksonville on Atlantic Boulevard, or go to LandRoverJacksonville.com. Land Rover, above and beyond.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida, CSI Companies partners with leading organizations across the country to deliver workforce solutions. As a proud sponsor of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI crafts personalized operations to fuel the success of businesses, both big and small. Whether it's finding the right talent for a job or seamlessly managing a project from start to finish, CSI has over 3 decades of experience in getting the job done. This is your workforce solutions reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
When Jaguars news breaks, you'll hear about it first on 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back, Jaguars Happy Hour. PRI Productions, the Southeast full-service event company, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com and learn more. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. Jaguars Happy Hour on Thursday, Week 18. It's all come down to Saturday night. Winner take all for the AFC South. Limited tickets available, we're told. Some standing room only areas. And that's about it. They're going fast. You better get them while you can.
Yeah, talking, I think, like 70,000.
Could be at the end of the day.
Which is impressive. It'll be, and I can tell you this, it'll be 70,000 Jaguar fans.
Yeah, that's the difference. There were a lot of Cowboy fans here, let's be honest. So
yeah,
this is going to feel a lot different.
Totally get that, but this is like, I think people realize the magnitude of this game and are excited about a football team. And look, it's always more exciting, I think, when the expectations for your team are not there. I mean, look, we felt good about this team. We felt that they would make significant progress. But did anybody really think, besides Doug Pederson, who had a crystal ball, did anybody really think that this game would come down to a winner-take-all division crown? I mean, I don't think anybody really thought that.
I mean, because it took the Jaguars turning it around, which, okay, that can happen. It certainly did. They played better football. The quarterback played better. They executed. They did a lot of things well. But it also took the Titans collapsing on top of that. For who was seeing that coming from the middle of the season? They were on a roll.
Well, I would say that Amy Adams-Strunk saw that coming because she fired John Robinson, the general manager, prior to the Jaguars' last meeting against the Titans.
True. Okay.
Are you right?
I guess so. Yeah, maybe she knew something we all didn't.
Well,
I don't know.
Kind of interesting, and that and a lot of people may look at that and go, well, that probably led to the lack of concentration and why the Titans went on a losing skid. No, that's not
skid
why.
Started before that, by the way.
Yeah, that was just kind of one of the reasons as to why she did what she did. But it will be an exciting game, and looking forward to seeing Troy and Joe, the two broadcasters for ESPN, which is a little different for them now, right? Monday Night Football / Saturday Night Football broadcast crew. Are Peyton and Eli doing a simulcast?
I don't know. I doubt it. Hey,
I couldn't watch that anyway, by the way.
It's pretty fun. You don't watch the Peyton and
Eli? Look, I like Troy and I like Joe Buck. I like listening to those guys. I think they do an amazing job. If I want to sit around on the couch and listen to a couple dudes talk football, then I'll invite you over and me and you will have a conversation on my couch, okay?
Well, I mean,
while we're watching Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I mean, it's different. I mean, those guys won Super Bowls as quarterbacks, They have a little insight.
Great.
I don't know.
Great.
I mean, you also have insight.
Their interviews are good, though. I will say that.
See, I'm the other way. I'm not a big fan of the interviews. I like it when it's just them talking ball.
Well, no, I mean, I do like some of the insight that Peyton gives just from a quarterback's perspective. I'm not saying that it's terrible. I'm just saying that I would rather listen to the game. But I like the interviews because I don't like some of the other stuff.
Well, let's say this. If the game is not quite, the marquee game, which can happen on Monday nights, then maybe I'll go watch Peyton and Eli, right?
Maybe.
Instead of the game.
Yeah, maybe. But like I said, depends on the guest.
True. This Jaguars offense this week, they're facing a Titans defense that's number 2 in the league against the run. They've been there all year, near the top against the run. It starts with the front 7 there. So
I think it really starts with 2 guys.
Okay.
I brought that up to Chris Manhertz, and I really believe that Jeffrey Simmons, who wears number 98, he is the most complete defensive tackle in the game today.
Number 1.
Well, as far as like being a dominant force against the run, and he's been a little slowed with the ankle. Okay, but when he's rolling, I don't think there's anybody that come in. Look,
I mean, come on. There's a guy in Los Angeles that would have an argument that has a ram horn on his helmet.
I know, and he's still the best. Okay, but like as far as like the traditional defensive tackles, and Chris Jones is right up there, but this guy's right with him. I'm just telling you, this guy is right there with him. He's that good, and he's been getting production this year on a bum ankle. That's why they didn't play him against the Cowboys game. They wanted to get him more healthy for this game on Saturday night, much like they wanted to get Derrick Henry healthy. Derrick Henry is the motor that drives the offense. Jeffrey Simmons is the motor that drives this Titans defense. Him and Tierra Tart, who is the more traditional nose tackle, one technique, whereas Simmons is more of that three technique. Those two guys are really stout in the middle, and that's the reason why it's so hard to run against the Titans, because of the job that those two guys do. And if you need maybe a comparison to Jaguars history, think Stroud and Henderson. I mean, that's how good these two guys are. You know, Stroud and Henderson, and I used to call these guys three-gap defensive tackles, because they would play their gap that they were lined up in. They would play the gap that was on the other side of them, and then they were so good they could cover the gap that was between the two of them that was really for a linebacker. These guys were special. Well, these guys in Tennessee are just at that level.
All right, so if the Jaguars try to run and for some reason aren't able to execute, so what's the next step?
Trevor's got to have a big day.
Okay.
And the last time that Trevor faced the Titans, he was the AFC Offensive Player of the Week, I believe. And so I'm not saying that he has to have that level of performance, because it was unbelievable against the Titans the last time. He was tremendous.
Threw 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, his numbers were just ridiculous. I mean, he had 4 touchdowns, and his precision, his accuracy, and really what was best is that he was just decisive with the ball. And that's what made these guys like Evan Ingram, have a great day, because they were getting the ball in a timely fashion that allowed the yards after catch. And so if Trevor's sharp, I think they can have a really solid day. And it's not going to be a game that you come out and say, okay, we're going to come out, we're going to establish the run, that'll soften them up, and then we can pass. I think it's kind of the opposite. You're going to come out, you're going to throw the ball a little bit, and then you're going to loosen them up, and then you can hit some things with ETN. And I'm not saying you're going to hit a lot, but you're going to hit some things, hopefully, with ETN.
Evan Ingram going to have as big of a day? It's hard to. That was a career-high day.
Well, the Titans have been one of the worst teams in the league at allowing tight end success. I mean, that's a fact. And even though they have a Pro Bowl caliber safety in Kevin Byard, look, the linebackers that they've had a linebacker problem in Tennessee a little bit, because they've had a lot of guys that have been in and out of the lineup. They lost Zach Cunningham, the talented former Houston Texan that they scoffed up off of the waiver wire when he was let go from the Texans roster. Yeah, he's been unavailable. They've played some musical chairs there with some other guys, and that's been one of the reasons why the tight ends have had success. And yes, I think Evan Ingram can have another big day. I really believe that. But I also think that you can also have success with Christian Kirk in the slot. I think you can also have success with Zay Jones on the outside. I think that there's opportunities there. But, again, it all depends on Trevor. If Trevor has kind of a game similar to what he had in Houston, wasn't great. The numbers were okay. I mean, he's like 17 of 21, which you're like, okay, that's pretty good, right? But the impactful throws that he had weren't there so much in Houston. He had a couple misses.
Why is that, you think?
I don't know. I mean, it was kind of weird watching him in pregame in Houston. I was like, yeah, he's kind of a little off. He's a little high, a little off the target, and kind of a little that way in the ball game. But I don't know. I mean, who knows? I'm just looking forward to watching him perform. This is a big game. It's a big game atmosphere. There's a lot of eyes on this football game. And Trevor's got great experience with big games. He's been there. He's done that in college. He's done it in high school. And so if there was ever a young quarterback that's in the league that was ever prepared for a game on Saturday night in front of a national audience with a winner-take-all everything on the line, it would be Trevor.
We'll come back in a moment. We'll take a look at the injury report. It has just come out officially from the Jaguars. We'll get that update. And then, of course, at 5 o'clock is the Doug Pederson Show. We'll hear from the Jaguars head coach and get his thoughts ahead of this Saturday night showdown for the Titans and the Jaguars. And the AFC South crown is on the line. If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, then look no further than Ford F-150, loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between. This truck makes tough look easy. Your local Ford dealer, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
The holidays are almost over, so don't miss the final days of the Holiday Your Way sales event going on now at your local Ford dealer. It's your last chance to get the best deals of the year on Ford trucks and SUVs. Light up your New Year's celebration in a Ford F-150 with available Pro Power onboard, or roll into the new year in a Ford Explorer SUV with available four-wheel drive. Don't miss the final days of the Holiday Your Way sales event. Inventory is arriving daily, but hurry. The Holiday Your Way sales event ends January 3rd. Not all models, trims, or features may be available or may be subject to change.
Unlock your potential at the University of North Florida. A top public university with more than 100 majors, UNF is number one among state schools for the highest percentage of graduates employed in Florida. Affordable tuition, programs in high-demand fields, and faculty who care. Swoop into your future at UNF. Visit unf.edu to learn more.
Hi, I'm Chef Justin Timnary, Florida's culinary ambassador. If you've enjoyed preparing fresh from Florida recipes, then you're going to love the Fresh from Florida Club. As a member, you'll be able to search and save delicious recipes, create custom menus, and ask me your cooking questions. Each month, you'll also get a list of what's in season, so you can make your family the freshest meals possible. It's free and easy to sign up. And best of all, you'll be supporting Florida's farmers, ranchers, and fishermen. Join the club at followfreshfromflorida.com today.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at TIAA Bank Field, because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Bono's is currently expanding its brand with franchise opportunities throughout the Southeast and beyond. Over 70 years of authentic Southern pit barbecue and owning your own business are a great combo. Go to bonosbarbq.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
The Titans-Jaguars game is proudly sponsored by Johnson & Johnson Vision, the makers of AccuView brand contact lenses. Johnson & Johnson Vision has been rooted in Jacksonville, Florida for more than 40 years, with tools for every stage of your eye health journey, from contact lenses and dry eye to childhood myopia and cataract surgery. They help to restore sight for millions of people around the world. You can prioritize your eyes by scheduling a comprehensive eye exam with an eye care professional today. Go Jags!
Kessler Creative, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, has been a leader in direct mail for over a decade. Using the latest technology, Kessler can now reach your ideal audience even more effectively. Choose from between a couple of response channels, from direct mail to landing pages designed to engage and initiate responses with potential customers. Kessler Creative, Jacksonville, Florida. Results-driven marketing and a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacksonville Sports Talk for Jacksonville sports fans. 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, and country superstar Kenny Chesney returns to Jacksonville April 14th. Tickets on sale now. Don't miss the I Go Back tour with special guest Kelsey Ballerini. That's at Daly's Place. Visit dailysplace.com today. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman, and if you're watching us on Jaguars.com and Jaguars social media, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, a live look outside at the Miller Electric Center, the new Jaguars facility, scheduled to open for business sometime in the summer of 2023. Just months away. The Jaguars team side will be in that building. The indoor facility on the far side, beautiful day outside. Should be great weather, by the way, for Saturday night's football game. Our crack research staff looking up the weather forecast as we speak here. And Saturday night, we're looking at around kickoff, right around 50 degrees, a little over, Logs.
Can you ask for anything better than that?
A little over, right around the 50s, and clear skies should be just perfect conditions, I think.
Yeah, I think as a player, those are what we call play all night games. You know, I mean, you feel like you can run forever. You got great energy. The weather's perfect, and so let's go. You know, and best part is that it's a night game, so you got ample opportunity to tailgate, get prepped and ready.
Yeah, it could be a scene, I think, once toe hits leather at 8:15. It's going to be a long day leading up to that, I think, for a lot of people. Let's go to the injury report presented by Baptist Health and the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute, the official sports medicine provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We start with the Jaguars, and the Jags have 7 players on the list this week. They are all questionable for the game officially. As put out today, Trevor Lawrence was limited the last couple of days. That's not abnormal.
I heard he's not going to play, though.
Well, he's questionable.
I'm just trying to start rumors.
Oh, well, that would work, by the way. Andrew Wingert, shoulder issue, limited all 3 days. Trayvon Walker, limited all 3 days with his ankle issue. Ross Matisic with a back issue, didn't practice Tuesday, Wednesday, limited today. Brandon Sheriff's been banged up for about 2 months. Abdomen and ankle issue, limited Wednesday, Thursday. He's a tough guy. Foley Fatukasi with an ankle issue, limited all week. And Rayshawn Jenkins' shoulder, limited all week. All are questionable for the Jaguars officially. And then the Titans, we mentioned a few already. They have 5 players listed as questionable for the game. Linebacker Dylan Cole, cornerback Christian Fulton, safety Amani Hooker, tackle Nicholas Petit-Frere, and wide receiver Treylon Burks. Everybody else, they've got, one guy's out. Devontae Harris, the cornerback with a hamstring issue, did not practice all week. There are 5 other players that were on the list this week in some capacity. They are all cleared to play, and that includes Jeffrey Simmons and Danico Autry, Derrick Henry, of course, Josh Thompson, the defensive back who had a concussion, was full all week long, and Terrell Basham with a back issue is a full go for the Titans.
Yeah, I think this is a game, because it's a win and end type situation. All these guys are going to find a way to suck it up.
All hands on deck.
Yeah, I mean, there is no tomorrow, so you're willing to risk a lot for a game like this, and that's the gladiator warrior mentality, and that's what it takes to be able to win in a game like this. Everybody's got to play.
The Jaguars in their history have had only 3 division championships, 2 of those in the AFC Central, and then, of course, in 2017, the AFC South title for the first time since the division split away, and there was the expansion and all that. And now the chance for the Jaguars to get their 4th division title in franchise history. A win or a tie gets it done this Saturday night, 8:15 against the Titans. A loss for the Titans sends them home. The Jaguars do still have an outside chance with a losing result, but they need 3 things to happen on Sunday, and you just don't want to deal with that. So handle the business.
What are those 3 things, just so that I know?
The Bills have to beat the Patriots, the Steelers have to lose, and the Dolphins have to lose.
Who do the Steelers and Dolphins play? Steelers play the Browns. Dolphins play
the Jets.
That ain't happening.
So there you go.
That ain't happening.
So just win the game, right?
Yeah, just win the game, and then you're in. Pretty simple. I'm looking. The one thing that I am looking forward to is what are the Tennessee Titans going to ask Josh Dobbs to do?
Yeah, how much can you really ask him to do, right? I mean, you saw a little bit last week, but it was so new. How much more can you really add in a week like this?
I'll never forget when he was acquired here. Okay, because the Jaguars gave up a 5th-round pick to acquire him.
Remember, that was right after Nick Foles cracked his collarbone, and Minshew was the starter. They traded for Josh Dobbs as the backup. He never touched the field here. Anyway.
Never touched the field, and I remember watching him in practice going, we gave up a 5th-round pick for this? I mean, it was like, wow, not that good, right? And I was like, wow. Can I talk to the guy that gave up a 5th-round pick for this? But anyway, it happened. I was very surprised, and didn't have particularly great arm. Very smart guy, though. Now, some of his decision-making was good, but just the arm talent wasn't there. And I think what they had in Tennessee was a guy that had some arm talent but just didn't have the decision-making and Patrick Willis. And so they go with the guy that's going to be with the organization on Saturday. It will be 17 days. 17 days.
It's amazing, right?
Think about that.
Yeah.
Has there ever, excuse me, I said Patrick Willis.
Yeah, Malik Willis, yeah.
Has there ever been a guy that's gone to a team and has been in a last game season finale winning in scenario that has been with a team for that few of days? I don't know if that's ever happened.
Maybe somewhere somebody got hurt, but yeah, that's kind of a perfect storm, for all that to happen in 1 week.
And what does that also say about John Robinson?
I mean, here's a question, though. Could they use both quarterbacks? Could they use Malik Willis as like a second option and run him in there or whatever?
Could, but I think you have to remember, too, that this is not – okay, Malik Willis is not this Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson runner. That's not who he is. I mean, he's a quarterback that he has athleticism.
Yeah.
And he can run, but it's not like he's a run-first quarterback. So, I mean, they could maybe to try to take advantage of his athleticism, much like the Texans were trying to do with their two-quarterback system. I think the reality is that you have to be prepared for everything, but I would be somewhat surprised if they go that route and play the Texans style of quarterback play.
Well, the last time out against the Jaguars, like the first play was a flea flicker, wasn't it?
Yes,
for Tennessee
with Tannehill.
Right, a little different.
Yes.
But, I mean, hey, they're up against it. Empty the bag of tricks, right?
They will empty the bag of tricks this week. And when you've lost that many games in a row, you're not expected to win. You're willing to take some gambles. You feel like you've got to take some chances to win the game. Much like the Jaguars go to Kansas City to face Patrick Mahomes, and they feel like surprise onside kick, steal possession. We got to do something that's maybe out of the ordinary to beat this football team because they're really good.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Titans' attitude is going to be similar, that look, we're not where we need to be, and we're going to need to do something extra special to be able to get the win. But if Derrick Henry controls the tempo, that's something that's extra special enough. If they find a way to get takeaways and they run Derrick Henry and he controls the tempo, then the Titans have a chance of winning. You go back to that game in Tennessee, JP, what happens if the Jaguars don't get 4 takeaways?
Yeah, it's not good, Coach.
Jaguars still could have won.
But they scored on those takeaways.
Makes it a really different game.
Yeah.
Just things have to still go well. I mean, this is not an automatic show up and then, okay, hey, we're going to the playoffs. This is a game is easy. No, this is Tennessee Titans, man. This is Mike Vrabel and Derrick Henry. And when you've got a good coach like that and you've got a back like that and a defense like that, they've got a chance.
All right, the Doug Pederson Show coming up in less than 2 minutes. We'll hear from the head coach and the Jaguars Radio Network. Logs, what do you want to hear from Doug? It's Week 18. They finally got to this point with a chance.
Well, I think first and foremost would like to hear kind of how he addressed what happened Monday night with the team.
Yeah, sure.
Because, as we talked to Chris, there was a period of time there where the league kind of stood still. And, well, then you have to get moving again. How did he address that with his team? And I think that's important. And also to talk to him about this game Saturday night. Because I can tell you one thing, I'm excited for it. I know he's excited for it. But if there's anybody that I want leading my football team this week, it's somebody that has been in the big game. And Coach Doug has been to that game. And you couldn't ask for a better leader going into Saturday night.
Calm, cool, collected, and let's hope the Jaguars are as well.
And I'm not saying that because he's right here.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the truth, though.
Yeah. Truth is the truth, man. I speak the truth.
That's what you do. That'll do it for Jaguars Happy Hour. Coming up next on the Jaguars Radio Network, it's the Doug Pederson Show ahead of Week 18. The Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up. A winner-take-all showdown for the AFC South crown at the bank. Limited tickets available. Get them while you can. This is Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Welcome to the Doug Pederson Show, brought to you by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles. JP Shadrick and former Jaguar Jeff Lageman discuss the latest Jaguars news with the head coach. The Doug Pederson Show starts right now.
Welcome in the Week 18 edition of the Doug Pederson Show. We've made it to the final week of the regular season, but hopefully a lot more football ahead for this team. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, and head coach Doug Pederson getting geared up for the winner-take-all game this Saturday night under the lights. We'll get to that coming up. But Monday night, the league stopped. Damar Hamlin collapsed on the field for Buffalo in the first quarter. What was your reaction to that, and then how do you address that situation with the football team still getting prepped for this game?
Yeah, I was in my office Monday night, obviously getting ready for Tennessee, and had the game on, and just kind of had it running in the background, and just kind of picked my eyes up to watch a few plays, and it just to me it looked like a routine play, routine tackle, but then Damar collapsed, and then for me it was okay, all attention on the TV. Let's see what happens, and then you start catching the eyes of the players, that were around. You started seeing the coaches. You started hearing some of the commentating that was going on, and then you realized this thing escalated really fast, and it became more serious. It became more life and death. And so, for me, everything sort of just stopped, and just thinking about the player, thinking about Damar, thinking about watching the emotions of both teams is something you just don't want to see, right? But then you switch to how these two teams came together. They were battling, and then all of a sudden they were brothers in arms, and they were supporting each other and loving each other and praying for Damar, and the two coaches, the way they communicated and led their teams with. And look, as coaches, there's no script for this thing. You're not prepared, for stuff like this, and. I immediately thought about our team, and because I knew on Tuesday our guys were coming back in the building, and I wanted to address it with them and really just be there for them and kind of support them and give them as much information that I knew about the incident, at that time, and really just let them, if they needed to talk to somebody, have the resources available in the building. If they needed to pray with somebody or just talk to somebody. I just didn't want them to harbor feelings. I didn't want them to keep things in if it was affecting them in some way, shape, or form, because stuff like this really impacts everyone differently. And so for me, and I flash back to my brother, and kind of going through that situation with him and watching his ordeal, and now both the Bills and obviously the Hamlin family dealing with their situation, and it just thoughts and prayers, and really it's about life, and football is just a game that can really go away, and you focus on the young man, and hopefully he makes a full recovery.
Football has always been kind of that gladiator sport, and sometimes television can sterilize it a little bit, and and that's kind of the crazy thing about the game and about TV. The one thing I think that really struck me on Monday night, Doug, was a lot of times when you bring a team together after a game and you do the breakdown, the word that's always kind of reiterated is fam or family.
Correct.
And I think that word probably applies now more than ever for those teams and for your team and teams around the league.
It does, and I thought of the word, just connection and relationships and building those strong bonds. As you've been in the locker room and you understand that some of your lifelong friends or your former teammates, and DeMar he's a son, he's a child, he's a teammate, he's a brother to those guys in the locker room, and then there's a special bond there, and you see that with the team on Monday night, and family definitely means a lot, and it means something to each football team, and that was kind of my message to our guys, was just that connection piece and continuing to build relationships with your teammates, and getting to know your teammates, and then on top of that, I had to somehow transition into a football game,
right?
And that's the hardest thing to do. How do you start? Where do you begin? But our guys handled it, really well. We got a practice in yesterday and on Tuesday, and we're slowly getting geared up and focused for this game on Saturday night.
Head coach Doug Pederson with us. All right, so that leads us to the Microsoft Surface fan question off social media today for you, Doug, about this game coming up against the Titans from @Kira2000 Jags. How do you approach playoff-style game prep? Do you watch the tape of the last meeting, or is it more about the players they have now? And this is a playoff atmosphere Saturday night.
The playoff atmosphere started about 6 weeks ago for us, and our guys have responded extremely well. We understand the magnitude of this game. We talked about this a while back, saying, hey, this season is going to come down to Week 18 against a great opponent. So the question is twofold, but it's kind of the same. It's yes, we're going to look at last time we met, Tennessee in Week 4. Personnel-wise, there are some different people playing, this week. They've got a few more guys that went on injured reserve, but they're also getting some guys back a little bit, so they're going to be a little bit different. But listen, you just got to focus on your job, put a great game plan together, and put a solid week of preparation together, and get ready for an electric game on Saturday.
Now you talk about the changes. I mean, I was getting my game board ready for this week, and all of a sudden I'm going, how can that many changes happen in that short amount of time? And the one that's the most significant is Joshua Dobbs is their quarterback, who, when you play this game on Saturday night, he will be with the team for 17 days. That's it.
Yeah, and obviously I can feel for Josh, but you know what, he did some good things in that Dallas game Thursday night, and listen, the more practice time that guys get, the better they become, and the more comfortable they get with the offense and the guys around them. So I would expect even a more improved Josh Dobbs, in this game Saturday night. And look, he understands, and the team understands that he doesn't have to do it himself. It's not about the Josh Dobbs, quarterback situation. It's about their team, and obviously, understanding that, running the football through Derrick Henry. Go back a couple years ago, they played the Chiefs, and I think they ran the ball close to 50 times in a football game, and so there's going to be that type of mentality, I think, and physicality in this football game that our guys have to be ready for.
Derrick Henry, okay, local guy, Yulee High School, just a little bit up the way. And
right.
Of all the years that I've been with the Jaguars, I've never heard of a running back have a drill specific with the Jaguars football team in years past, where teams got ready for a Derrick Henry tackling drill. That's how good he is, isn't he?
That's how good, that's how strong and powerful and big he is, and he was that way all the way back into high school, and obviously at Alabama, and just a great player. And it's you got to bring your big boy pads. You need to go to the equipment guy and ask for a bigger pair of shoulder pads for this game. And listen, it's not about one guy. It takes all 11 on defense. The corners and the safeties and everybody involved are going to have to make tackles in this football game, and give him his respect, because he's a really good, not only a good player, good teammate, but a great running back in this league.
And can carry a load maybe like nobody else in the National Football League. Wide receiver Traylon Burks didn't play the last meeting against you guys. What do you see in him? Because he's a rookie player, but he's dangerous.
He is dangerous. He's got good speed, good straight line speed. He does a nice job at the top of his routes, creating some separation preparation. There are a couple of times where he'll get stuck on some press coverage, things of that nature, and I think that comes with just growing and becoming a veteran in this league. But a dangerous guy. We studied him hard coming out of Arkansas, and really had a lot of respect for him and his game, and I liked him. I liked him coming out of college. So he's somebody that we've got to account for, and we know that running the ball can also set up some play action pass, some QB movements, things of that nature that we got to just know where these guys are.
Head coach Doug Pederson with us. The Jaguars and the Titans coming up Saturday night, TIAA Bank Field. Trevor Lawrence's numbers the last couple weeks modest in relation to some of the ones in the second half of the season. So finishing it out strong for the quarterback. Last week the run game was heavy in Houston. Of course, 3 different running backs had a touchdown in that game. But how does Trevor finish this thing? He got him to this point. How does he finish it?
Last week was unique. There were a lot of distractions, I think, around the football team looking into this week, and it affected a lot of guys. I think it affected the quarterback a little bit, but listen, he did what he had to do to win that football game last week, and I was fortunate enough to get several of our players out of that football game and get them some extra rest, in the second half. But look, this game. We know what it comes down to. We know what it boils down to. It's definitely a must-win situation. The sense of urgency. Trevor's really risen to the occasion in moments like this. So he'll do it again. Again, he much like Josh Dobbs, he doesn't have to do it himself. He needs to rely on the guys in front of him and the guys around him. Get the ball out of his hand. And just run the ship like he's been doing.
I thought the impressive thing last week in Houston completely was Trevor saying, hey, look, we need to start fast. He actually talked about it. And then if you look at your football team defensively, you got to stop on downs, and then the offense takes it in and scores. Boy, a fast start would be nice against Tennessee because they're not built to throw the football.
In the last meeting against them, they obviously, 7-0, 7-7, 14-7. We were kind of playing catch up there in the first half, but you're right. Once you get the lead, you got to maintain the lead, and you got to keep the lead, and you got to keep scoring. That's something we, each week you kind of pride yourself on. Hey, let's try to score touchdowns, not field goals, especially when you get in the red zone. You got to take care of the football. You look at the Dallas game and how many times they turned that ball over, and Tennessee. Is very capable of scoring off of takeaways. So, and their defense is good at getting the ball out. But, we just got to take care of business, make sure we keep the football. Our defense do like we did the last time and create takeaways was huge, much like they did in the Houston game. And whether it is a turnover or a stop on downs, I think are huge. It gives your offense another possession in big games like this.
All right, final thought with you, Coach. Environment should be at an all-time high here at the bank this Saturday night. Standing room tickets being sold earlier this week, an expected sellout, under the lights, national audience, everything on the line in the division. Is your team ready for it? And what do you want from the crowd Saturday night?
I want electric. I want the crowd to be as loud as they can, and just that's what guys feed off of. That's what our team feed off of, and it's going to be a great moment for our team. And I know we're a young football team, and we've battled through a lot of adversity this season. But it's one thing to really get up for this game, but it's another thing to be able to control your emotions, especially early in the first half. And these are playoff type moments. It's a win and you're in scenario for both teams, and our guys will be ready. They're eager for it. They've had great energy this week in practice, and looking forward to Saturday night.
These games are the ones that take you back to when you were a kid playing under the lights Friday night, high school football. It's kind of special.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's one of those special moments. I remember those Friday night lights pretty well, and this is one of those.
Doug, thanks for the time. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Head coach Doug Pederson with us. This is the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The holidays are almost over, so don't miss the final days of the Holiday Your Way sales event going on now at your local Ford dealer. It's your last chance to get the best deals of the year on Ford trucks and SUVs. Light up your New Year's celebration in a Ford F-150 with available Pro Power onboard, or roll into the new year in a Ford Explorer SUV with available four-wheel drive. Don't miss the final days of the Holiday Your Way sales event. Inventory is arriving daily, but hurry. The Holiday Your Way sales event ends January 3rd. Not all models, trims, or features may be available or may be subject to change.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. The world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else.
Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Visit Publix.com/delivery to shop now. That's Publix.com/delivery. Item prices vary from in-store prices. Service fees may apply. Available in select zip codes. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
Welcome back, JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. The Doug Pederson Show rolling along. Our thanks to the Jaguars head coach joining us in the opening segment each and every Thursday all season long. This is Week 18. The Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans coming up. Winner take all for the AFC South. What a game it should be. Packed house, the environment, everything that comes with that. And considering the Jaguars were 2-6 at one point this season, they've rallied. They've won 6 of the last 8. They are 8-8. They're a game up on the Titans in the division, but it all comes down to Saturday night, prime time. Wow, it's an incredible run for this football team. First of all, on their side of it, to get things right and win some of these games. They were losing some close ones earlier in the season logs. That's one thing, which is incredible. But then the Titans faltering like they have had to happen as well, and they've done so in spectacular fashion. In fact, 6 consecutive losses for Tennessee, and it's all been kind of a perfect storm to get back to this point. Now you got one game to go finish this thing.
Well, it's been impressive watching this football team all year. I think the thing that I've appreciated most is that during that 5-game losing streak that they had in the middle of the season, that what you just brought up, that there was a lot of one-possession games in there, and that it's not like that this team was getting blown out. I mean, there was really 2 games that weren't close. It was the Detroit game and the Kansas City game. Everything else was really close, and a lot of times when you get into kind of a losing streak, things can go awry, and guys can pack bags and say, the season's over, there's nothing to play for. But for this team to be able to keep its focus and to be able to turn it around, when you talk about changing culture, that's changing culture. And that's been the most impressive thing to me, is that how this team stuck together, continued to work, and continued to get better. And obviously the big part of the turnaround was the play of the quarterback. And that's really where it started. After that game that he had in London, he came back a different player. But it wasn't clean at first. Look, when he came back from London and played in the Raiders game, they were down by 17.
Yeah.
And he wasn't playing very well at the beginning of that game. And then all of a sudden, bam, 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 he starts hitting things. And and part of the reason is that the performance of Derek Carr was not very good in that game. But look, that's how it is. Sometimes you get a little break here and there. When you got it, you got to be able to take advantage of it. And Trevor did, and the team did, and that's been fun to watch. And I would say that Trevor against Tennessee was arguably Tennessee, the Dallas game somewhat also. But those 2 games, he was unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, total control, total command, accurate, decisive, athletic, everything you want a franchise quarterback to be. He was that in those 2 games. And look, I'm not saying that he hasn't been that in the last 2 games, but he's been solid, really solid in the last 2 games against the Jets and also at the Texans. So that's very encouraging. But I want to see that Dallas and that previous game Tennessee kind of performance this week.
Yeah, cap it off the right way, and obviously a win would get the AFC South title and the number 4 seed in the AFC playoffs and a wild card home playoff game in week 1 of the playoffs.
Which is bonus. I mean,
huge.
It's amazing. You could be 9-8 and you get a home playoff game. How does that work? Well, you win your division. That's how it works. It's outstanding. And it would be another exciting game here at the bank, and that would be incredible, and hopefully you can have the same amount of excitement that leads into that game as you're going to have going into this game and have going into this game.
There's a lot right now. That would be even a higher stratosphere, I believe, if that's possible, because we're at a fever pitch, I think, on Thursday going into Saturday right now.
Yeah, and I don't know if you'd be able to surpass this week's fervor, but I mean, you'd get really close to it now.
It might all be about the same at that point. Once you're in the tournament.
JP, it's the Titans, man.
Right.
It's the Titans.
Yep.
You know, and the crazy thing is that Trevor was asked that question in his press conference about 1999, and I think it was by Gene Fournette. And Trevor's like, Gene, I appreciate you letting me know that, but I was like 3 months old when that happened.
He was born in October of 99. Yes. Think about that for a while. Right?
Man, I feel old.
Yeah. And there's one thing. You're always going to be older than me, Logs. How about that?
Yeah.
And I also feel old.
Well, I hope I continue to be way older than you.
Let's hope that continues as well. We're back in a moment, and we will get into this Jaguars offensive attack. How do they attack the Titans defense and a really stout run defense for Tennessee? We'll come back on the Doug Pederson Show on Jaguars Radio.
On the road, there's a thin line between safety and tragedy. Don't cross it. Give law enforcement, first responders, and service professionals the space to safely do their jobs. When you see flashing lights, move over a lane or slow down 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. See lights? Move over, Florida. Brought to you by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles and the Florida Highway Patrol.
Your hometown gate now has more ways to save. Introducing My Gate Rewards, a new loyalty program with member-exclusive savings and fuel discounts. Earn points on in-store purchases, take advantage of special offers, and save on products you love. Score free coffee, fountain drinks, pizza, and soft serve with Gates frequent shopper clubs. Then use your points on savings at the pump. Download the My Gate Rewards app in the App Store today or ask a store associate for more information. Go from good to Gate.
Hi, I'm Chef Justin Timnery, Florida's culinary ambassador. If you've enjoyed preparing fresh from Florida recipes, then you're going to love the Fresh from Florida Club. As a member, you'll be able to search and save delicious recipes, create custom menus, and ask me your cooking questions. Each month, you'll also get a list of what's in season, so you can make your family the freshest meals possible. It's free and easy to sign up. And best of all, you'll be supporting Florida's farmers, ranchers, and fishermen. Join the club at followfreshfromflorida.com today.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
We're back. It's Week 18, the Doug Pederson Show, presented by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. Doug Pederson joining us in the opening segment each and every week. On Thursdays, it's Week 18. The Tennessee Titans at 7-9, and the Jacksonville Jaguars at 8-8. The winner takes the AFC South for the 2022 campaign, and they'll get a home playoff game next week. It's a Saturday night, 8:15 kickoff at TIAA Bank Field. Limited tickets available, you better get them now because they won't be around for long. Standing room tickets being sold, we're told as well. So this Titans defense ranked number 2 in the league against the run, really stout up front. So the Jaguars, if they for some reason aren't able to chip away and get the run game going, how do they attack and move the football against this group, and what do you expect?
Well, I think that's very similar to what you did the last time, and you have to have a quarterback who's decisive, who's getting the ball out of his hands quickly against the Titans defense that can be very aggressive, and they're not as talented, I think, in the perimeter as they have been in the past, and so there's some opportunities there. There's also some top opportunities in the core of their defense where the linebackers are at. So you've got to be able to do that, and Evan Ingram's got to be a big part of that, maybe even Dan Arnold, maybe Manhertz, maybe Chris can even be a guy that can catch a couple balls. But you've got to find a way to just be steady and move the chains and protect the football because, in my opinion, the only way you can lose a game like this against the Titans is that if you start turning the ball over, which anybody can win when they get takeaways. But I think when you have a Titans team that is going to be very reliant on Derrick Henry, it allows them to kind of stay in that groove so much better if they're getting takeaways.
Hang on to the football, Travis Etienne. That's been a focal point the last few weeks.
I guarantee you that Mike Vrabel and their defensive coordinator, Shane Bowen, have been preaching, attack the ball when Etienne has it. Attack the ball. Because if you look at what's happened over the last couple of weeks, the ball's been loose a couple times. It's been on the ground. And that's just the way it is in the National Football League. People watch film, they take notes, and there's going to be a scouting report on Etienne, and those points will be brought up.
Precision from Trevor Lawrence, and he's got those pass catchers out there to do it as well. And the receivers that Marvin Jones Jr. has been reliable for a lot of the year, obviously.
Well,
and
Trevor refers to him as his security blanket.
He is.
And that's high praise. I mean, when you start talking about a quarterback security blanket being a wide receiver, and look, the reality is that he's not a top 3 target for Trevor.
That's right.
But for Trevor to say that Marvin Jones is a security blanket, that's impressive. But the top targets are obviously Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, and Zay Jones. And I think all those guys are going to have opportunities to make plays. And the old philosophy, I think, always applies. In big games, you got to have your big-time players make plays. And so those three, the 3 Musketeers of Trevor's, they've got to have good games.
Did you just coin a new nickname for the group?
Trevor's 3 Musketeers?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you want to coin it.
I hope that doesn't catch, I must say.
I don't like that. The 3 Musketeers.
It doesn't really roll off the tongue.
Doesn't work. And I'm not a big fan of the candy bar anyway.
Okay. We're back in a moment. Plenty more ahead. We'll get into the Jaguars' defense, the tackling plan for Derrick Henry, and Joshua Dobbs making his second career start at quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. This is the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.
The holidays are almost over, so don't miss the final days of the Holiday Your Way sales event going on now at your local Ford dealer. It's your last chance to get the best deals of the year on Ford trucks and SUVs. Light up your New Year celebration in a Ford F-150 with available Pro Power onboard, or roll into the new year in a Ford Explorer SUV with available 4-wheel drive. Don't miss the final days of the Holiday Your Way sales event. Inventory is arriving daily, but hurry. The Holiday Your Way sales event ends January 3rd. Not all models, trims, or features may be available or may be subject to change.
Jaguars fans, huddle up for the best defense against expensive car repairs, CarShield. Score big with the nation's #1 automotive protection company, CarShield. They offer affordable plans that cover over 6,000 parts and systems in your car, truck, or SUV. Don't miss any Jaguars action this season with a car breakdown. Call the MVPs at CarShield for the best coverage ever. Call 800-471-1223. 800-471-1223. Go Jags!
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
Hey, Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dream Finders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dream Finders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
Welcome back. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. The Doug Pederson Show rolling along. Week 18, the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars for all the marbles in the AFC South. Should be a packed house. Limited tickets available for Saturday night's game, 8:15, the kickoff time. And you better get here early. Let's just say that. The traffic, the crowds, there's an event earlier in the day, and thanks to the Icemen who moved their game earlier in the day to accommodate some parking situation down in town that's around the stadium and the sports complex. It's just going to be busy all day long. So earlier the better, and the earlier you can make your way toward the gate to get in the stadium, the better as well, the process of getting in with the tickets and the scanning and everything. So, and there's a lot going on in the stadium before kickoff you don't want to miss as well.
Hey, look, if it's me, I'm getting here a little early because there's a game on before, and I'm sure you'll be able to find it somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I might be bellied up in the bar in the south end zone. I might be bellied up at the bar at south end zone, Bud Zone, before the game anyway.
Really?
Am I allowed to do that?
I don't think that's allowed.
I mean, having a few cold, hot toddies or whatever you want to have?
I have no official capacity here whatsoever, but I'm going to say that's probably against the rules.
Not allowed. Is that against league rules? I mean, I can't broadcast a game having had a few beers?
It's nice working with you, Logs. Let's just say that. It might be your last Titans-Jaguars game. Who knows? All right.
That would be nice, though, wouldn't it? We'd probably have to go to XM. Are you allowed to say bad words on XM?
You are. You could have an alternate feed with Lageman after a few cold ones. Yeah.
I might have a few kind words to say about the Titans.
Great.
Like them fine Titans.
We should charge extra for that is what we should. The alternate feed with Lageman after about a six-pack. All right, so Derrick Henry, obviously number one priority, and that's the case pretty much every Titans game that they roll up. Number 22 is the one. All right, so
I was just reading a stat on him, which is crazy. And right now he has 1,429 yards on the season, which is impressive because he didn't even play in their game against Dallas, last Thursday night. And if he gets 71 yards rushing in this game against the Jaguars, which I'm okay with him getting 71 yards, but I would like to see it on like 30 carries. Okay, but if he gets 71 yards, that'll take him to 1,500 yards, which he would be the first person in NFL history to do that 3 times, 1,500-plus yards, because he did it in 19 and he did it in 20. And the crazy thing to me is that he is doing this really without a dynamic passing attack.
All right.
And that's hard to do. I mean, it's hard for a running back to have success without bounce. I mean, look at Travis Etienne. He's had a really good passing game to allow him to have over 1,100 yards rushing. But with Derrick Henry and the Titans, I mean, everybody's focusing in on stopping Derrick Henry, especially this year with the absence of Tannehill or the injury that he had, and he's been out a couple games. It just makes it even more impressive in my mind.
I mean, it's almost reminiscent of like Maurice Jones-Drew, 2011? Like he had the rushing title, right? 2010, whatever year that was.
Right, but Mojo never had 3 1,500-yard seasons.
The point is, like, he was the only option that year for the Jags team, right? Like, he just kept getting the ball. People knew he was going to get the football, and he still had to go produce.
He still got it.
And this
the
guy's
rolling
the same way.
ball of butcher knives.
Right. This guy's the same way. So, all right, if for some reason you can corral Derrick Henry and put it into Joshua Dobbs' hands, that's advantage Jaguars, obviously.
Big time. I mean, that's you got a quarterback who has a subpar arm. That's the reason why he's been a journeyman. That's why the Tennessee Titans found him on a team's practice squad. And look, you can be the smartest guy in the league, but if you don't have the arm talent, it's hard to have success. And that's kind of been the history of Josh Dobbs. The guy's had, prior to this past game against the Dallas Cowboys, he had 17 passing attempts in his NFL career. 17. And he's going to be starting what is essentially a playoff game for the Tennessee Titans franchise, the organization. It's just crazy to think of that, but that just goes to show you how the league, Doug Pederson always talks about, and he's been preaching it all year, about how it's such a week-to-week league. Is this not the most or the largest illustration about how that this is a week-to-week league? With all of a sudden, you don't even have a quarterback on your roster, and then in a matter of 17 days, you sign him, and then he's starting a game for you on the road for all the marbles. How week-to-week is that? About as big as it gets.
Right.
I'm sure Josh Dobbs is excited about the opportunity. He was excellent college quarterback at Tennessee. Excellent. I used to enjoy watching him. I thought that he had a chance of being a really good NFL quarterback, but it hasn't worked out that way. I wonder how much of the game plan, of the playbook, that the Titans feel comfortable with him operating.
It's a fair question, right? I mean, the guy just came in 17 days ago, so how much can he really
how much can Todd
process?
Downing infuse into his brain of that game plan?
And how much can he actually go execute? Is he good enough to make some of the throws, right?
I'm sure that one of the reasons why they went after him is because he's a smart guy.
He's like an astrophysicist.
Oh yeah,
or something crazy.
he's like
intern at NASA and all this stuff.
Yeah, his intelligence rating is far superior to probably me and you combined. Just because I've been carrying you on my back for years.
I'm higher than you are, so I'm carrying you. I mean, that's what happens when you go to the Harvard of the South in Tuscaloosa. That's what happens. I'm way above you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll come back in a moment. Plenty more ahead. Coming up in a little bit, we'll get a social media question for you, Logs.
Bring it on.
It's been a fun place this week, Jaguars Twitter.
Yeah, it's been a little boisterous. I like it.
Yeah, everybody's excited, amped up for the game this Saturday. And the Titans-Jaguars game is presented by Johnson & Johnson Vision, the makers of AccuView brand contact lenses. They're providing healthy sight for life. Proudly based in Jacksonville. Visit jjvision.com. This is the Doug Pederson Show on Jaguars Radio.
On the road, there's a thin line between safety and tragedy. Don't cross it. Give law enforcement, first responders, and service professionals the space to safely do their jobs. When you see flashing lights, move over a lane or slow down 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. See lights? Move over, Florida. Brought to you by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles and the Florida Highway Patrol.
If the last couple years have taught us anything, it's to show the ones we love how much we care. That's why Pet Paradise calls you by name from the moment you arrive. Why our pack leaders know each and every friend you like to play with out on the turf. And that you like some snuggles before you fall asleep. The more we see and get to know you, the more you'll see how much you mean to us. Pet Paradise. It's a new day in pet care.
At Five Star Credit Union, you inspire them to go the extra mile to meet your financial needs. That's why they offer Jaguars fans more banking options like better rates and no hidden fees. Their team is also dedicated to making the communities they serve stronger, volunteering their time and talents while donating millions to local nonprofits. Five Star Credit Union, FiveStarCU.org. Go Jags! The Titans-Jaguars game is proudly sponsored by Johnson & Johnson Vision, the makers of AccuView brand contact lenses. Johnson & Johnson Vision has been rooted in Jacksonville, Florida for more than 40 years, with tools for every stage of your eye health journey, from contact lenses and dry eye to childhood myopia and cataract surgery. They help to restore sight for millions of people around the world. You can prioritize your eyes by scheduling a comprehensive eye exam with an eye care professional today. Go Jags!
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
Welcome back to the Doug Pederson Show, presented by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles. The Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars, Saturday, 8:15 p.m. on ABC and ESPN Television. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman are in the house. Lisa Salters on the sideline. Westwood One Radio will be here as well. And it's going to be a packed house.
All eyes.
All eyes of the NFL on Week 18, the AFC South de facto championship game. The winner takes the crown.
Who's got the earlier Saturday game?
It's the Raiders and the Chiefs.
Chiefs?
Chiefs-Raiders in Vegas.
And it still matters for Kansas City from a seeding standpoint, correct?
Yes.
Okay, but Raiders are out. I mean,
Raiders are out.
Yeah.
They're done.
They
got a backup quarterback plan.
Right. And Carr's not even he's not even around the team.
No, he gone.
Which is
wow. Yeah, he gone. Where's he playing next year?
That's a great question.
Yeah, who knows?
If I'm a personnel guy, I wouldn't be real excited about acquiring him after watching what I saw out here earlier this year. I thought his performance against the Jaguars was bad. I think he was the reason why they lost that game. His performance was, terrible, for lack of a better term.
Terrible.
Okay, Charles Barkley.
Okay, Chuck.
Terrible.
Okay, Chuck. All right, so
he's the best, though.
Let's take a look at the injury report for the Jaguars. The Jags officially have 7 players on the list. All 7 game statuses are questionable for the game. Trevor Lawrence, toe issue. Andrew Wingard, shoulder. Trayvon Walker, ankle. Ross Matisic, back. Brandon Sheriff, abdomen/ankle. Foley Fatukasi, defensive lineman, ankle. Rayshawn Jenkins, shoulder. All questionable for the game. We'll find out when they roll the ball out there, I guess, an hour and a half before.
They're all going to play.
Okay. There you go. No question from Logs. Titans have 5 players questionable. Dylan Cole, linebacker. Cornerback Christian Fulton. Safety Amani Hooker. Tackle Nicholas Petit-Frere. And wide receiver Treylon Burks with a groin issue that popped up midweek, apparently. And Devontae Harris, a cornerback, is out. There's a handful of other guys on the list, but they're all
going to play.
All those guys are going.
Except for Devontae Harris.
He's the only guy officially out.
Yeah, they're all going to play.
They're all playing.
Like I said, when you have a game where there is no tomorrow, you're willing to risk a lot. If you get hurt, so what? Right? It's okay. I get hurt. I got all off season to get better, so let's go. Unless you've got a limb that's hanging by a piece of skin or something, then
it's a little extreme.
You go.
Tape it up and go?
Tape an aspirin to it. Let's go. It's like, what was the Monty Python guy?
It's only a flesh wound, right?
Okay, think of the Monty Python guy who's a player for this game.
This is merely a flesh wound. We're moving forward.
One of the greatest scenes ever, by the way.
All right, so, hey, it's what it is, right? This is Jaguars were 2-6 and losing games in the fourth quarter, but in those games and then
real quick,
found a spark.
Before you go.
Oh, gosh, I was going down.
There's a lot of young Jaguar fans that are going, what is he talking about?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, if they can search Google, what would they search for, Joe? Because Joe is a total Monty Python guy. Brave Sir Robin, Monty Python. So I told you he would know.
Doesn't take much for you, Logs, does it?
It's awesome.
All right, so it's all the marbles on the line. Titans, Jaguars. We were talking about this earlier on a show here in Jacksonville today, and it's the biggest game in franchise history.
Yeah.
It's right. Maybe in the regular season franchise history.
Yeah, clarify
the
that.
Falcons game at the end of '96 to win and go in. You guys ended up winning it, obviously, on the missed field goal and got in. So that was huge. There have been some other big games and important games, but with everything on the line, last day of the season, division rival for a division title, I don't know if you can ask for much more.
No, I think this is a pretty impressive moment in the history of the franchise and an opportunity to win a division title, which you've done, 3 previous times. And that's something to be proud of. And this is an organization that could have gone, now if you win this game, you go from worst to first, which is another impressive accomplishment. And then you get to do it against your nemesis, the arch rival Tennessee Titans, the team that took away your destiny in 1999. And there's a lot of young Jaguar fans that, like Trevor referred to earlier today, he was 3 months old when that happened, that don't even remember that. But the longtime Jaguar fans, they remember that. And here's the reality. The Tennessee Titans have been the top dog on the block for the last 2 years. They've been in the playoffs the last 3 years. This is the team that you need to establish a little bit of a pecking order with in the division. So this is an important game for a lot of different reasons. And if you win this game, you're the champs, you got a winning record, then you get a home playoff game the following week because you are the division champs. I mean, yes, all those things make this the biggest game in Jaguars history. So are you going to be a part of history and be there? I am. JP, you are.
I'll be here.
Okay, there's going to be a lot of people here. Okay, 70,000, probably a little bit over that. And so, folks, if you can find a way to get a ticket to be here, this is one of those moments. This is one of those moments that is going to be remembered for many years to come.
We'll come back in a moment. Social media question for Logs. He loves these. We're going to get an answer.
And then I'm going to tell you how the Titans can win.
Oh.
Because let's not just assume the Jaguars are going to steamroll the Titans. Okay, there is a way that the Titans can win.
That on the other side. This is the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network. Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
The holidays are almost over, so don't miss the final days of the Holiday Your Way sales event going on now at your local Ford dealer. It's your last chance to get the best deals of the year on Ford trucks and SUVs. Light up your New Year celebration in a Ford F-150 with available Pro Power onboard, or roll into the new year in a Ford Explorer SUV with available four-wheel drive. Don't miss the final days of the Holiday Your Way sales event. Inventory is arriving daily, but hurry. The Holiday Your Way sales event ends January 3rd. Not all models, trims, or features may be available or may be subject to change.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Jaguars fans, huddle up for the best defense against expensive car repairs, CarShield. Score big with the nation's #1 automotive protection company, CarShield. They offer affordable plans that cover over 6,000 parts and systems in your car, truck, or SUV. Don't miss any Jaguars action this season with a car breakdown. Call the MVPs at CarShield for the best coverage ever. Call 800-471-1223. 800-471-1223. Go Jags!
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else.
Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Visit Publix.com/delivery to shop now. That's Publix.com/delivery. Item prices vary from in-store prices. Service fees may apply. Available in select zip codes. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. The Doug Pederson Show continues. Our thanks to the head coach joining us in the first segment each and every Thursday. Let's go to the Microsoft Surface and a social media question for Jeff Lageman. This is at AlexSurfer82. How will the Jags handle the pressure of the game with everything on the line? I mean, Logs, it is a younger group overall. How do you think they respond to this?
I think that's a great question. I really do. Because to go back in time a little bit, in 1996, when we were able to string some wins together at the end of that season that year, we really weren't looking at the big picture. We were just kind of in the moment and just going game by game. And we were starting to play well, and we won one, and then we won two, and it kind of kept going on. And all of a sudden, okay, wow, this last game, guess what? If you win, you're in. And we didn't play our best in that last game because I felt that the pressure of that game, we felt it. Whereas in the games prior to that, we weren't feeling it. And then when we get to the playoffs, okay, now we make the playoffs because Morton Anderson misses a gimme kick, which he's made a bunch of times in his career. Okay, now we go to the playoffs. Well, now all of a sudden, there's no pressure on us again. Because we're not expected to do anything. We're only a second-year franchise and got lucky to get in because Morton Anderson missed what was going to be or should have been a made kick on his part. Well, we go to Buffalo and we beat them because we didn't have any pressure. We were just playing free. And then we go to Denver, nothing on the line, right? We're kind of playing with house money. We beat Denver in Denver. And they were expected to be the Super Bowl champs that year. And then all of a sudden after that game, well, guess what? Now you got to go to New England. If you win, you go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Uh-oh.
Now there's pressure, right? Because the pressure is there because if you win, you go to the Super Bowl. And we did not play our best game in New England at all. And so the pressure of this game is real. The Titans have lost 6 games in a row. They're not expected to win. The Jaguars are at home. They've won 4 in a row. They're expected to win. The Titans have a journeyman quarterback who is going to be making his second career start. He's not expected to win. The first overall pick of the draft from last year is expected to win. So these are the things that are different going into a game. So how do you handle that pressure? That's the question. Because that pressure, again, is real. You got to have a coach who can guide a team. You have to have veteran leadership that can guide a team. You have to have sometimes leadership that's not veteran, that is young, that's played in big moments, that can calm a huddle down, like a Trevor Lawrence, who's played in a national championship game a couple times. Those are the things that it takes. And I think that the Jaguars have a guy that is an outstanding leader in Doug Pederson, and I think he will help this team adjust. He will get them ready for this game because he's been there. He's done that. He knows what it takes to get ready to play a game. And that's what excites me because the reality is that if you go into this game and you feel the pressure and you don't play well, then all of a sudden Derrick Henry controls the tempo on the ground because he's capable. In Tennessee, maybe they get a couple takeaways. Dobbs does just enough, hits a couple lucky plays down the field to Burks, who's a big play-capable guy, even though he's a rookie. That's the way you could lose this game. Because the longer that Tennessee kind of hangs in there, the more puckered up the Jaguars football team will get. And I think the looser and the more confident a Titans team would get. That's why they play the game.
Take it out of them
because
early.
if it was on paper, JP, it'd be over.
Yeah, right. It'd be over. But no, that's why they play the games, Logs. We're back in a moment. Final thoughts about this one. This is the Doug Pederson Show on Jaguars Radio.
On the road, there's a thin line between safety and tragedy. Don't cross it. Give law enforcement, first responders, and service professionals the space to safely do their jobs. When you see flashing lights, move over a lane or slow down 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. See lights? Move over, Florida. Brought to you by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles and the Florida Highway Patrol.
Unlock your potential at the University of North Florida. A top public university with more than 100 majors, UNF is number one among state schools for the highest percentage of graduates employed in Florida. Affordable tuition, programs in high-demand fields, and faculty who care. Swoop into your future at UNF. Visit unf.edu to learn more.
Hi, I'm Chef Justin Timnary, Florida's culinary ambassador. If you've enjoyed preparing fresh from Florida recipes, then you're going to love the Fresh from Florida Club. As a member, you'll be able to search and save delicious recipes, create custom menus, and ask me your cooking questions. Each month, you'll also get a list of what's in season, so you can make your family the freshest meals possible. It's free and easy to sign up. And best of all, you'll be supporting Florida's farmers, ranchers, and fishermen. Join the club at followfreshfromflorida.com today.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
The Titans-Jaguars game is proudly sponsored by Johnson & Johnson Vision, the makers of AccuView brand contact lenses. Johnson & Johnson Vision has been rooted in Jacksonville, Florida for more than 40 years, with tools for every stage of your eye health journey, from contact lenses and dry eye to childhood myopia and cataract surgery. They help to restore sight for millions of people around the world. You can prioritize your eyes by scheduling a comprehensive eye exam with an eye care professional today. Go Jags!
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
Final few moments of Week 18's Doug Pederson Show. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, Titans, Jaguars coming up Saturday night, 8:15 for the AFC South crown for 2022. The de facto championship game for the division. The Jaguars at one point, I believe, were 4 games behind Tennessee in the division race, middle of the season. Tennessee has been leaking oil for about a month and a half. They've lost 6 straight games.
Leaking oil, they've been broken down on the side of the road, JP.
The road's about to end if the Jaguars can handle their business this Saturday night. And they're surging and going the right way with 4 straight wins now. And if they get a win, the Jaguars would get 5 in a row for the first time in a single season since 2005. How about that? It's been a while. It's also the last time the Jaguars swept the season series against Tennessee.
Been a while.
That's a long time.
Well, what year was that?
05.
05.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a long time. Yeah, it's a great opportunity on so many different levels. And I'm excited for the moment because, people create energy. People create atmosphere. And when you got 70,000 strong, I mean, that's the ultimate. And as a player, I can tell you, because, if you go back and you looked at Rayshon mic'd up this past game on Jaguars.com, which was an awesome piece because I'm a big fan of Rayshon. He's got such high energy. When you watch that piece, he talks about knowing what this environment's going to be like this week once that game in Houston was kind of under control. And it is. It's going to be electric, and it's going to be imperative that the players kind of rein in some of their emotions And it's okay to be excited, but you do want to make sure that you just don't burn yourself out too early.
Who you got on All Access tonight over at Strings in Springfield?
Brent Martineau.
I've heard of him.
Andre Cisco.
Heard of
Josh
him.
Allen.
Oh.
And maybe some other special guests.
That's big.
It should be very, very exciting.
That'll
JP,
be
you ought to
nice.
come and have a beer.
I might have to do that.
You don't have to do any broadcast duties
I'm
tonight.
off the
so
air.
you're free.
I've got 1 minute left of official duties
and
tonight.
able.
So maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, come on by and have a beer. I'll buy you a beer if you come on by.
Well, that's nice of you.
I would.
Appreciate that. I need some wings, too, and I need a burger. I need, like, some food. Can we work on that?
I might be able to work on something like that.
I have some other asks as well. We'll get to that.
That's
enough.
Okay, food and a couple beers. That's it.
That's Jeff Lageman. Thanks to our entire crew, of course. Brent Reber, David Cho, Joe Fortunato, and for everyone involved, I'm JP Shadrick. Thank you for listening. If you don't have tickets, you better hurry. Limited tickets available for the Titans Jaguars Saturday night, 8:15 at the Bank. And this has been the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.